The word Baal in the name Baal Zephon clearly refers to the Canaanite god Baal Hebrew. Baal? In this story, Jesus, with his authority as the holy God and the lawgiver, warns all humanity to introspect, judge themselves before they judge others.
Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal Zephon, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. Exodus 14:2.
Baal Zephon, Hebrew, Baal Zephon, meaning Boss, Lord of the North. It's the name of a location in the eastern delta region of Egypt, where the Israelites camped during the Exodus. Baal Zephon can also mean places of water from Baal, and was in the vicinity of the city in the delta known as Pi-Ramesse Tanis or Qantir. In the 13th century BCE, a Phoenician inscription from the 6th century BCE mentions Baal Zephon and all the gods of Tahpanhes. This has led to the idea that Tahpanhes, now known as Tell Defneh, approximately 43 kilometers southwest of Port Said, was once Baal Zephon, the places of water from Baal near Ramses, which was also a location significant to the Israelites' exodus. Eisfeld and Kazels argued that Baal Zephon was the same as Hasi in Ugaritic, later Zeus Cassios, and that Zephon from Egypt Acassios was Ras Khazran on the Mediterranean coast, around 70 kilometers east of Port Said behind Lake Serbanus. But the god Baal Zephon, Cassios, was worshipped in many places in southern Egypt up to Memphis, so there are other possibilities. The word Baal in the name Baal Zephon clearly refers to the Canaanite god Baal Hebrew. Baal, the word Zephon, is related to Zephon in Hebrew, meaning north. The Hebrew word for compass in modern Hebrew is matzpen, which shares the same root as Zephon, north, and uses the same letters, Said, Pe, Nun. Literally, it means north. We know that a compass needle always points north, since this name is based on the name of a god. It tells us that there were significant Canaanite influences in the northern regions of Egypt. There were special priests for this god in Egypt, and the Egyptian god called Seth is likely the same deity as the Canaanite god Baal. In the Assyrian documents of Tiglath-Pileser III, 745 to 727 BCE, there's mention of a mountain called Baal Zephon, which is highly likely the same as Baal Zephon. Researchers suggest that Baal Zephon was located near a port city. We can see the connection as sailors would seek protection from storm disasters while sailing or traveling by sea. This is closely related to the description in the Bible that this location in Exodus 14:2 was by the seaside. Continuing the discussion of the Hebrew word, Zephon, meaning north, we find related words in modern Hebrew, such as a matzpen compass, from the same root word, Zephon. We also have the word matzpun, which means conscience. This is interesting because it contains a truth that matzpun conscience can, under certain circumstances, tap into the human soul that is lost, forgetful, or misguided. When people listen to their inner voice or conscience, they are reminded of the truth, which acts as a compass pointing them in the direction of what is right. So, there are words derived from Zephon, one in the context of cardinal direction, and another in the context of moral direction or the conscience of human life. In Jewish belief, a baby from the moment of birth has both the Yetzer Hara evil inclination within them. As it is written, sin is crouching at the door, Genesis 4:7. However, as a baby, they have not yet sinned. As they grow into adulthood, they gain the ability to sin through their free will. or because they can distinguish between right and wrong, thanks to their Yetzer Hatov good inclination, moral conscience. The Hebrew word Yetzer means inclination, desire, thought. Will noun masculine? The Yetzer Hara evil inclination is also present within humans. But individuals are actually given the ability to differentiate between the impulses of the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Hatov through their conscience. Every person is equipped with a conscience, and it is a special gift from God to all humans. This enables individuals to respond to good and virtuous things. When a person strays from the right path, departs from the truth, and engages in wrongdoing, sometimes their conscience speaks to them, preventing them from committing evil deeds. We can draw an understanding that when you have lost your way, you need a matzpan compass. So that your conscience, matzpan, can guide you back to inclinations for doing good, Yetzer Hatov. The Bible records an event where Jesus Christ once punished humanity with a conscience tap, matzpan, namely the incident of the adulterous woman who was caught in the act of adultery and was to be stoned to death, John 8:2-11. This matter was brought by the righteous ones, the priests and Pharisees, to test Jesus. The conscienced human conscience exists, and it is a reserve of God's grace for all humans so that they can respond to good and virtuous things when humans go in the wrong direction. And they intend to trap Jesus in the case of the adulterous woman. Our Lord, who is God incarnate, certainly knows well that his creation, humans, have a reserve called a conscience, matzpan. When these humans are off course, our Lord provides them with a compass, matzpan, a direction indicator, and they fall silent, not daring to oppose the truth spoken by Jesus.
And when they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again he stooped down and wrote on the ground at this. Those who heard began to go away one at a time, the older ones first. John 8:7-8.
Indeed, the adulterous woman was profoundly impure and could not avoid being stoned. But what did Jesus say? And what does your conscience say when you hear Jesus' response? That turned the judges of the righteous upside down. He answered their question with authority. Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her, John 8:7. And all the righteous people fell silent. Then, one by one, quietly, they left. Why did they leave? Because now their status had changed. They were no longer the accusers, but the accused. They were all condemned by their own conscience. In front of Jesus, they all had to be stoned. In this story, Jesus, with his authority as the holy God and the lawgiver, warns all humanity to introspect, judge themselves before they judge others. This story clearly teaches that when their conscience is touched, they become aware that they are no holier than an adulterer,